Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for April 8th. April 8th is the 98th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 99th in leap years, with 267 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is manifestation. Interesting word, manifestation. Manifestation is a noun that can mean the act, process, or instance of manifesting. It can mean something that manifests or is manifest, a perceptible outward or visible expression, one of the forms in which an individual is manifested, an individual or a concept or an idea, an occult phenomenon, a public demonstration of power and purpose. Those are all definitions of manifestation. And since this definition references so heavily the word manifest, we will get a bonus word today, and that is manifest. Manifest can be an adjective, a verb, or a noun. As an adjective, manifest means readily perceived by the senses, especially by the sense of sight, easily understood or recognized by the mind. As a verb, manifest means to make evident by showing or displaying. And as a noun, manifest means list of passengers or an invoice of cargo for a vehicle such as a ship or plane. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my sources are included in the show notes. I ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And remember that you can share this video with others with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. Also, there is a link in the show notes to my playlist for the episodes of This Day in History, and I'll put a link up there in the corner as well, where you can see all of them if you want to. There's also an episode of This Day in History for last year that covers a few different topics or covers similar topics differently, and I'll put a link to that up in the corner also. Alrighty, and with that, in the year 1079, a man known as Walklin, he was Bishop of Winchester. He began work on a new cathedral. It only took 14 years to complete, and I say only because they didn't have cranes and high-rise equipment and concrete trucks. This was all manual labor, and many similar projects took a lot longer than 14 years. Anyway, on April 8th in the year 1093, a new Winchester Cathedral was dedicated by Walklin, the first Norman Bishop of Winchester. Winchester Cathedral, by the way, is a cathedral of the Church of England and is one of the largest cathedrals in Winchester Cathedral. Yeah, Europe. It's one of the largest cathedrals in Europe. That's what I thought it said, and for some reason I wrote down England. Okay, there's a little piece of my process going on there. So we'll just read that last sentence again. Winchester Cathedral, by the way, is the cathedral of the Church of England and is one of the largest cathedrals in Europe. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Baltimore was promoted to Archdiocese when Pope Pius VII founded the dioceses of New York, Philadelphia, Boston, and what was then known as Bardstown, now Louisville, on April 8, 1808. The Venus de Milo was discovered on the Aegean island of Milos on April 8, 1820. The statue is thought to have been created somewhere between 130 and 100 BC to represent Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. So why is a statue of Aphrodite called Venus? Well, Venus is the Roman name for Aphrodite. The statue is sculpted from marble, and it's a great example of ancient Greek sculpture. She currently resides on permanent display in the Louvre Museum in Paris. Now, I've got to ask you, have you ever been to New York City? If not, I'm sure you've seen photos or film of the iconic area located in Midtown Manhattan at the juncture of Broadway and 7th Avenue. Originally known as Longacre Square, I'm talking about Times Square, which was renamed Times Square after the New York Times on April 8, 1904. Now, here's a deep one, kids. Dementia is a disorder of the brain whose most notable manifestation is cognitive decline. Those are big, giant words that more or less mean that people's thinking becomes impaired, they become forgetful, they can't take care of themselves properly. Dementia is considered a major neurocognitive disorder with varying degrees of severity and a wide variety of causes. That said, many of us have heard of Alzheimer's disease. In fact, I think most people, when they hear the word Alzheimer's, think forgetfulness. The idea of Alzheimer's is so prevalent in the public mind that many people tend to think that any form of dementia is Alzheimer's, but that is inaccurate. Alzheimer's does account for probably 60 to 70% of dementia cases, and we're going deep here. Alzheimer's disease is named after the German psychiatrist and neuropathologist who first characterized the disease, differentiating it from other forms of dementia. We can thank the heartbreak and travails of a woman named Auguste Dieter for Dr. Alzheimer's characterizations. Auguste's mental state began to decline noticeably around the time she was about 50 years old, probably before that, but that's when things started really getting bad. And within a few years, her husband was completely unable to take care of her at home. Mr. Dieter was advised to admit Auguste to a mental hospital, which happened to be where Dr. Alzheimer worked. He first met her there, studied her case, and gave her the first diagnosis of the type of dementia that now bears his name. All that said, on April 8, 1906, Auguste Dieter, the first person to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, died. She was 56 years old. There's a lot more things that have happened on April 8th, but I think we're going to tie it up right there. I will put the link to last year's episode up in the corner for you if you want to see about more things that happened on April 8th throughout history. All interesting, at least to me. My husband says, sometimes you choose the most obscure subjects. And, you know, there are things that are interesting to me and that I think maybe people don't know about. Maybe you do, I don't know. You can let me know in the comments section. Anyway, last year's episode up in the corner, along with the playlist. And I hope you did learn something you didn't know before, because I know I sure did. I always do. Again, links to my sources are included in the show notes, and those links to the playlist and the episode from last year. Images are retrieved from Bing Images, either public domain or licensed free to use and share. I think the correct terminology is free to share and use. Our lovely outro music is Divine Life Society by Jesse Gallagher from YouTube Music Library, and there's a link to his channel in the show notes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a like. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And remember that you can share this video with others with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. All right. Okay, for crying out loud. Good grief. All right, let's see here. Okay, do that again. We'll do that in a minute. Thank you. That might not make it into the video. We'll see. Changing it up.